Always live and always wild. Welcome to today's Africam show brought to you by explore.org. Thank you all so much for being here. Our elephant has just wandered out of shot there, but that's okay. Let's see who we've got joining us today on the show. We've got Jean Gale. Good morning, Jean Gale. You're from the foothills. Oh, he's coming back in. Near Seattle. It's still dark there, but clear. You can see the stars. Something we haven't seen for a while here in the Lowveld of South Africa. So I'm glad you have got some stars there, Jean Gale. Jack de Boer, hello from Chesapeake, Virginia. Thank you for being here, Jack de Boer, as always. Karu, hello, Karu. Thank you very much for joining us today. What's going on with these elephants? Seems to be a little bit of pushing and shoving going on. Jen Latt, good morning to you too, Jen Latt. Thank you for joining us. Zygote, hello Zygote. Thank you for being here. Namaste to you too, Zygote. You are all very, very welcome. Remember, we are live and interactive. Please send through your hellos, your shout outs, any thoughts of what we are seeing here in front of us. It seems these two elephants have just had a little bit of an interaction there and relatively peacefully gone their separate ways. It seems there is water everywhere at the moment. Here in the Lowveld around the Kruger, I'm sure everyone has seen news of the flooding that's been happening recently. It seems the rain has stopped for now, and the cleanup is underway. The water here is pretty impressive at Timbi. Lots of elephants and all the other animals making best use of times of plenty. It's fascinating here when we see all these pans dry up. I always enjoy watching it. Timbi, how their little puddles off to the side of the pans get utilised. Everyone picks a puddle and paddles in the puddle, and then over time they turn from water to mud, and then they dry up. The cycle is then repeated. But look at this elephant is chomping on it. It looks like some reeds or something in here. We do sometimes see it. I've noticed it often at Tau, when everything is very, very dry and bare. They don't utilise the plant matter found in the water as much as I would actually expect. But I'm sure they know exactly what they're needing, what they're feeding on. It's amazing how they utilise what they need when they need it. April L, good morning. From the frigid, snow-covered Connecticut, 16 degrees. Oof, that is quite chilly with your cherry iced tea, and you are looking forward to the show. Thank you for being here, April L, with your cherry iced tea. Dean NC, good morning to you too, Dean NC, and everyone else. You made it just in time with your coffee for the show. It's very important, Dean, and I'm glad you didn't forego the coffee before the show. It really is a very important part, and we are glad you participated with your coffee. Gordon J, hello, Gordon J. Good morning to you too. You are very, very welcome here. And Bridget McKinney, hello, Bridget McKinney. Thank you for hopping in. Anyone that hasn't participated before, please do so. We'd love to hear from everyone that is joining us. This elephant has had his fill of this particular area by the looks of it. It's got looks like he's got takeaway with him. And it looks like he's moved away from there because of possibly something or someone else approaching. Maybe he was quite done. Have we got a interloper shoving him out the way? I hear a jacana calling in the background there. Okay, let's head across to Alono. I haven't visited Alono for quite some time. Oh, look how green it is. That giraffe's neck looks strange from that angle, but it's fine. That was a weird view of that giraffe thing. They do actually sometimes look quite sort of bumpy and lumpy if you see them from specific angles. But showing exactly what they're used for, they can get around to all those difficult to reach places. very strange if you look at them for too long, but it looks like there's lots of food here for these animals as well up at Alono. Times of plenty all around. And I'm just trying to see, it looks like there's lots of birds here as well. I'm going to take a complete stab in the dark that there's some sort of swift or swallow maybe by the way they're flying. I'm sure we've got some oxpeckers in the mix there as well. Oxpeckers so often found on these large mammals, especially giraffe. Where I stay, we do have giraffe in here as well, and I often know that giraffe are somewhere local by the sound of the oxpeckers. It's a sound that, as guides, we are very tuned into. We are taught very early on. Oxpeckers calling means, or often means, large mammals, not all the time. Oh, welcome. That's a very large mammal. Elephants, not too concerned with oxpeckers. They're very infrequently found on elephants, although not impossible. But they are not tolerant of those oxpeckers, unlike some of the other animals who sit there. They will dangle on their ears and their faces. Drive me absolutely mad. Departure from our giraffe. These giraffe, as we know, they normally, what are they impala down there? They don't form a particularly strict structure or group. You'll often find males with the females, but if there's resources, water, they may hang out in one location, but they don't follow any strict rules, these giraffe. MG Leopard Spots, hello MG Leopard Spots. Thank you for hopping into the chat. You're enjoying ice water before your coffee. That sounds very healthy, iced water. And Casper's third ghost, good morning to you too. And you're also saying good morning to everyone else from a frigid Milwaukee. Well, -1 with hot coffee ready. I think coffee is definitely required in those temperatures. We're way down at sort of 22 or something here today, which is ridiculously cool for a January in the Lowveld. But we had I think it was sort of 28 or something the other day, but wow, the humidity after all this water is insane. Oh, look at this lovely view of this big boy having a drink here. The ebbs and flows of visitors to this little pan is very much ongoing. It's not often there's no visitors here. And I really enjoy watching this little pan. It's a great opportunity to watch interactions between animals. In the dry season, it was crazy. We had eland and zebra and elephants and all sorts here. All actually pushing and shoving a bit, but all in one place. Amazing to watch. This boy's going to have a little bit of a shower now. It looks like, has he broken one of his tusks there? Can't quite see on the other side. Doesn't seem to be impacting his enjoyment of this shower scenario though. A little bit of a shower, a little bit of a drink. Oh, that sounds like a lovely idea. I would love to see a flamingo at Menonquenia. I don't see flamingos very often. So I would love to go and have a look and see. Oh, we've got some vervets there as well. Oh, I do enjoy watching these vervets. From a distance, we never want them to get too close to habitation if we can help it. Never to be encouraged. It does make me very angry when some people seem to think that do not feed the animal signs do not apply to them. It does huge amounts of damage to both the animals and the environment and the ecosystem. It is not okay to swing it on the tail. It's not okay to feed wildlife under any circumstances, and it applies to everyone. I've seen it many times where people seem to think, oh, no one else is feeding the wildlife, but it's fine for me. It is not. Please don't. It's the animals that suffer at the end of the day. But this is perfect. This is how you want to watch these vervet monkeys. Always active, always doing something. Look at that guy sat on the top there. Keeping a very close eye on the ridiculousness going on below. Whee! I love watching these interactions. Look at that very small, oh no, small one got upset. Went back for a little bit of reassurance. I'm trying to work out what that sound might be, but I don't actually know. There's lots of birds active here as well. Again, looks like maybe swallows or swifts. You often find these swallows or swifts around water. They will be catching insects, flying insects. Often they will come and drink as well from the water. It's always, oh wow, look at that. What a treat. I can't. That flamingo, I'm sorry, I'm leaning right into look. That flamingo does look very pink from here, but I think, don't quote me, I'm not great with flamingos. I've never actually worked in an area with a regular population of flamingos. I think it can vary according to their diet, the coloration in their feathers. I don't think it's particularly usual for flamingos to be on their own. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna check this distribution to have a look at this flamingo. But looks like a spur-winged goose in the background as well. Who else is back there? There's some great bird duck. Is that a spur-winged goose? Thank you very much, Kirsten. I will take your shout on a lesser flamingo. But unconfirmed. Is that a spur-winged goose? No, it's an Egyptian goose. What am I talking about? Look at all these birds and insects buzzing around. There's a thickney back there as well. Oh, okay. Confirmed. There are spur-winged goose. But that is an Egyptian goose. I'm muddling my geese. What is that? That flamingo's been in the same position for quite a long time. They filter feed upside down, and maybe it's just trying its best to get some. It's very noisy. There is a lot happening in this image. Okay, yes. I thought it was a spur-winged goose. It is an Egyptian goose, but we do have spur-winged geese that occur here. It looks like possibly a thickney having a bath at the back there. That sounds like a terrestrial brown bull, maybe. Looks like some plovers in the back. There's such explosions of bird life this time of year, and you get sort of little hot spots, and all the birds will be in one area, often based around resources as usual. If there's lots of food, if there's lots of insects in one place. I'm just trying to think, is that a terrestrial brown bull? one of the green balls, but there's all sorts going on here. But I'm looking closely at this flamingo. I wonder how long this flamingo's been here. I would be interested to know how long this flamingo's been here, or at least been in this area. I know they do sometimes pass through areas, but I know occasionally a flamingo will turn up in the Kruger, and I think there's actually been an occasional flamingo turn up in Madikwe once or twice. Oh, it's only just arrived today. It does make me wonder, these heavy rains and storm fronts and things that are moving, certainly around South Africa at the moment, they can blow in some unusual bird life. They can definitely, I was talking to someone the other day and they said a frigate bird turned up somewhere that was very watery around the Kruger, which they're supposed to be marine. So maybe this flamingo has got caught in a weather system somewhere and is maybe having a rest here. Who knows how long they'll be around. Joe Farrago. Hello, Joe Farrago. You've missed seeing the lone hippo from Rose's pan since you departed. Can I speak about the habits of solitary male hippos? I absolutely can. This little vervet monkey's having a rummage through the poop there. Delicious, finding all sorts of yummy things in there, I would imagine. Joe Farrago, I'm sorry you are missing the lone hippo from Rose's pan. Rose's pan is not too far from where all these, well, it's basically in the same area as all these floodings have happened. But I think if he's been gone a couple of weeks ago, it would have been before the water. And male hippos, an ideal scenario for a male hippo is a nice big body of water, easily deep enough to cover the back, cover the face should they need to. He would maybe have few girlies, 3 or 4 females, some of whom would have calves. That is sure. Perfect scenario for a male hippo. That's what he wants. He's got reproductive rights. He's got his safe space. He's got no challenges from other males, which is ideal for them. Sometimes males do not end up in that situation. They may end up on their own. They may end up alone. That does not give them breeding access or reproductive access, which is what most animals seek. They will hang around for quite a long time, often on their own. But ultimately, if the conditions are favourable, so in the summer months, they might basically try their luck somewhere else. They may go wandering to see if there's a different pan, maybe a spot that hadn't been claimed by another male hippo. Maybe there might be a couple of girly hippos there. It could be that a territorial male had been displaced at some point. Because ultimately that's where he wants to be. I'm just trying to think how big that male was at Rosie's pan. He's an adult, but it could be that, you know, if he hadn't held a solid territory before with access to females, maybe he's gone off to try and find himself a better spot. And it could be that he comes back, but hippos won't normally move around. In the dry season, if they've got somewhere that keeps them wet, they will normally stay put. But the summer months, when there's good rainfall, lots of water, it's sometimes worth a risk to try go and find an alternative spot so he can procreate and have a family. That's one way of putting it. What's going on there? Looks like there's some bit of rummaging occurring there. Oh no, tail swing. Yes, Joe Fargo, I'm sorry you miss him. He might be back. He might not. There has been bizarre hippo movements going on here in the last couple of weeks. There's been hippos in fruit farms. There's been hippos in estates that historically don't have any hippos knocked down. So your Mr. Hippo from Rose's Pan could be somewhere completely different by now. There's been hippo tracks seen in some very unusual places, and that's going to be the case for quite some time, I think, after these huge floodwaters subside, and everything is going to have moved, I think. Jack de Boer, lesser flamingo, have least pink or orange of all the flamingo species. Thank you, Jack de Boer. That is very interesting. I did not know that. And you know what? I think we've only got greater and lesser flamingo here. I'm not even sure how many other species of flamingo there are. Or if there are. I know very, very little about flamingos, to be honest. But lovely to see this guy here. Let's see how long, a guy, girl, whoever it may be, let's see how long they hang around. But let's head back across to Alono. I think our giraffes may have come back into range again. Oh, very much so. Elephant out, giraffe in. I spent the Christmas holidays, I was actually guiding guests all over the Christmas and New Year, which was fabulous. It was great to be back in the bush. And I really, really enjoyed sharing it with guests again. It's been a while. And one of my guests was desperate to see a giraffe drinking, which is quite difficult to, you can sort of 2 or 3 times we managed to get a giraffe in a similar location to some water. But the old adage, you can lead a horse to water, you can't even lead a giraffe to water, let alone make it drink. And we got so close one afternoon. We just sat quietly, and the giraffe got closer. And they're actually, I know this Alono pan, they're fairly, I'd say haphazard, but they wander over and they drink quite quickly. But I do know giraffe can sometimes take ages before they commit to having that drink. And we found a giraffe, and then there was water, and we watched, and this giraffe ambled close to the water, and it ambled, and it stopped, and it looked. I said, we need to sit really quietly, and it looked, and it was 5 or 6 minutes we sat there, and it looked, and just as it was bending down to drink, she sneezed. And it completely ruined it. I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. That's the closest I could get. But I sometimes forget, watching these very nonchalant giraffe here at Alono, just how long it can sometimes take for them to commit to getting down in that very vulnerable position and commit to having that drink. But this is lovely and open here. They can see all around. Nothing can sneak up. If you're going to pick a spot to drink if you're a giraffe, this would probably be quite a good one. Oh, look, there's the mountain in the background. That's cool. I just noticed that. I haven't seen that for a while. That is an amazing view. It's quite unusual to see that. A view of Kilimanjaro in the background there. What a spot for a camera, hey? I'm gonna go back and have another drink. Got all these birds coming in as well to quench their thirst of the afternoon. So I've gone quiet, wait for the giraffe to drink. But yeah, we did not manage to get a drinking giraffe, despite how hard we tried. And look how this giraffe is using more of the bended knees forward rather than the straddle approach there. They do tend to use one of the 2 tactics. Oh, I would love to see an agama basking across in the Serengeti. I do enjoy a basking agama. Let's see how. Oh, I thought it was going to be more colourful, and now I feel bad about being disappointed with the agama. I saw a new lizard. Well, I think it was a new lizard over the Christmas holidays, and I still haven't quite worked out what it was. It had two very bright electric green stripes down it, and I didn't manage to get a picture of it, and I didn't see it for long. And suggestions are that it might have been one of the skinks, which are quite different to these gamas. They're all from the same sort of family genus, order, group, but they do all have quite different characteristics. Soaking up that afternoon sunshine. And that's actually pretty good camouflage with that rock as well. With a very vocal dove, it sounds like, in the background. Jean Gale, you're saying it takes so much patience just watching the giraffes on the cameras. I know. On these cameras, I've noticed watching, it feels like that they might be a bit quicker, because there's not often well, unless it's some of the cameras that are close to lodges or decks. But I do know some of the cameras, there's no disturbances. And it feels to me like they almost get used to the fact that there's no disturbances, and they sort of stroll in and they sort of wait and they listen and they drink. But yeah, I was reminded, Jean Gale, of how just how sensitive giraffes are when they're building up to having a drink. I felt terrible, but yeah, she sneezed. We must have been trying to orchestrate this drinking giraffe for a good 15 minutes, sneaking up and going round, and then just as it was going down, she sneezed. So no drinking giraffe there. Mindy Tilipa, drinking giraffes, they are amazing to watch. A little bit awkward, but yeah, the mechanics of it never ceases to amaze me. Gordon J, you absolutely love the patterns on Maasai giraffes and Grevy zebra. It is incredible the way those coat patterns and things change depending on geography, that geographical split, and how those giraffes are sort of further north, east, north you go from South Africa, how those shadow stripes sort of, it's almost like the printer ran out of ink a bit, and they just get less and less until they finally disappear. That geographical split of different areas, it's fascinating, the same way as your crocodilians, your caimans, and I read a thing about am I going to say it right? Garangals. I think that's how you say it. They're another strange looking crocodilian, all filling similar niches, but in completely different places. This Obama bin, is that light reflection, or is that a difference in skin? I was just thinking it almost looks like shedding or something. He looks quite comfortable perched up there though, enjoying the last bits of the sunshine. And he's gone. And he's back. Well, that looks... that characteristic bobbing. I've actually been doing quite a bit of reading around snakes recently. I'm working on putting together some information about how dog owners can save their pets or prevent their pets from getting bitten or stung by snakes or scorpions. And I keep getting lost down these rabbit holes of snake behavior and reptile behavior. And there's just, you never stop learning in this. You never, you read something and then you forget it, and then science develops a new or discovers a new aspect of something. It's always cyclical, and I love the learning aspect of it. I would love to go and have a look at a waterbuck across at Tau. I haven't seen my old thing. Oh, that's cutesy. I haven't seen the Tau waterhole for a while. Oh. I wouldn't say that's a young one, but I struggle with scale if it's not stood next to a big one. We've seen generations of young waterbuck come and indeed go at the Tau waterhole. We've had many years ago now, we had cheetah kill. I think in my time, we had at least twice cheetah kill young waterbuck. Shame it is a myth. People often perpetuate the myth that predators don't eat waterbuck. It is incorrect. This waterbuck also making the most of the long, lush greenery up there in Madikwe. I haven't heard. I actually had a friend who stays up in Madikwe not long ago. They hadn't had any reports of any epic rain up there. Was it last year or the year before? They did get very, very big rain as well. Did quite a lot of damage to some of the fences up there, all repaired. But yeah, it seems areas of South Africa take it in turns to take the hits when it comes to the big water. Have we had any updates? I haven't checked in for a while. Any updates on the any crocodile nesting egg type things going on at Tau? I did spend quite a bit of time watching definite courtship and mating behaviour in those crocodiles there at Tau. I would love to know if we'd had any updates on any laying activity. That would be fascinating to watch. Oh, seen some fighting, but no eggs or babies. Okay. I think we have had eggs there before, but I don't think they made it. I think it was believed the substrate wasn't quite right. And this waterhole is extremely busy, with elephants and all sorts of things around. But it was here that I watched a crocodile see off an elephant, I think, unless I'm mistaken. There's a log that's sort of fallen over to the side. And there was a crocodile, and it said, no, thank you, not today, Mr. Elephant. And saw him on his way. So we've seen some fighting, but no eggs or babies yet. This grass is looking delicious around this water's edge here. Gone from very, very sparse and dry to a meadow. And I'm sure this is a small waterbuck. I'm going to stick by it, despite the fact I've got no scale to gauge it to. It doesn't look like this waterhole is super full at the moment. It almost looks like there's oh, come on, be a big one. Yes! I thought that was the slightly smaller one. This looks like it might be Mum coming in from the right. Quite cautiously. these crocodiles in here. We don't often see them make a grab for any of these bigger mammals, but it's not impossible. And I would also be quite cautious splushing around in that mud there. I don't know if it's ever been sort of followed, but it's so nice to be able to watch these families or generations of waterbuck. We know waterbuck are normally in around close to water. And I wonder if any of these females, I'm sure it's a great spot for them. Why would they leave if they've got water and they've got food? As we always say, it's about the resources. If any of these adults are any of the same lineage, I'm sure they would be, as I saw when I was there many years ago. There's something splushing in the background. I can hear something. It sounds big. Oh, look, there's a little baby wildebeest over there. Just see that little pale coloured wildebeest in the background. You do actually get nice big groups of wildebeest in and around Madikwe on the grassy areas, not too far from Tau. And those young ones be very, very vocal when they were still small. It was always a lovely time of year. I think it was the same time of year. I'm not sure, I can't remember what the flowers were, but there was lots of yellow flowers. And all the little baby wildebeest would be laying in the yellow flowers. Very, very vocal. I'm not even sure I've been so caught up in my own weather recently. I'm not sure what the seasonal temperatures have been like up there, but that water does look a little bit low. Lots of food though. Yeah, it's also cool up there. It's like they've had some rain. I'm not sure what the last sort of couple of months has been like, but it seems relatively cool up in Madikwe as well. Strange weather patterns all round. These impalas are sharing nicely with these waterbuck here. Looks like a couple of male impalas. That definitely sounds like an elephant splashing somewhere to me. Ooh, not sharing so nicely with the waterbuck. MG leopard spots. So waterbuck have very pretty ears. They do have very pretty ears. They've almost got sort of patterns that you're right, the patterns that move across their ears. And I remember it was possibly actually at this waterhole that someone said it, and I often say it when I see waterbuck. My friend Megan, very, very early on in my time in Africa, she pointed out to me that waterbuck have heart-shaped noses, and I have never forgotten that. It is nice. It's spending some time looking at the different patterns, different markings on all of these different antelope. I wonder if there's a reason for those patterns on their ears. Might be something to do with heat distribution. I've never sort of peered closely in their ears, but maybe those patterns are made up with slightly lessened, like thinner fur, less fur, more skin exposed, which allows for a little bit more heat distribution, maybe. I think that would be great to go and have a look at a hippo oxbow and cylinder. Seen as we have people missing hippos, there's a, yep, also quite wet, but this hippo is loving life out here. Again, hippos only come out of the water at night. Incorrect. There has been many hippos seen out of the water recently. There's a blacksmith lapwing, and it looks like a chicana on the right. But yeah, definitely a little bit droopy here as well. But yeah, this hippopotamus is making the most of this lovely cool weather. I don't know what noise that is, if anyone would like to hazard a guess. It feels rude of me to ignore it. I was going to say elephant in the room, but there's another one. I think that's a red-eyed dove. That but that loud squawk, I don't know. Yep, that one. Answers on a postcard. Oh, these hippos really are in their element. Cool temperatures. Look, even getting to paddle and graze at the same time. They're two favourite things. Eating and water. Happy as a hippo in a puddle. I'm trying to think of what bird that could be. That is our ring-necked dove or Cape turtle dove. So there's a couple of doves calling, but that other one was most definitely not a dove. Please feel free to share if you can give me a hint. I'm always open for suggestions. That lapwing just staying somewhat ahead of the hippo. No one ever wants to get in the way of a hippo. We will call that the red-eyed dove, which I do know in the background. And we will save the unidentified squawking for next time. But we are going to leave you for now with these gorgeous scenes of these very, very happy hippopotamuses or hippopotami enjoying these lovely cool temperatures. So until next time, keep on enjoying these hippos. And I hope to see you all again very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.